Hi guys, welcome back to another little quick tutorial. Um, you may remember this one from videos 1 and 2, where I started it off very basically, but you can see I have gone so far. Look, I've done so much. I've got the entire uniform there, pretty much all the details, all the straps on her boots, her holster, her dress things, the belts around her waist here, the gun, everything else. And I've actually have her hanging off of some kind of thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's one of the booster units. I don't know what it is, but she's hanging off of it, leaning backwards and about to shoot something, someone, or I don't know, whoever. Probably you lot. Okay, we've still got the old layer, of course. There you go. As I talked about before, we use a reference. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel every single time we want to do a picture. So I've got the reference picture there of the woman that we used. So if I just turn her off and turn the layer back on again, you can see it. Now what I want to do a little bit is oh, what's that? Yeah, what I want to do is I want to start coloring it in. To be honest, the way it looks now, I could do some more work on it because I could tighten it up a little bit in terms of the lines and whatnot, because it is kind of, I mean, it looks a bit sketchy. If I zoom in a bit more like this, you can see it looks quite sketchy. And if you look at the what we're using for a kind of reference in terms of color in the uniform, it looks quite clean. So I could go a bit more, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna, because this is just to show you guys how I do the basics of and set it up with the different layers, with the reference and the lines. So and I'm not going to go into too much detail. Now, a good way that a lot of artists start coloring work in is that they block out the section that they want to color. So what I'm going to do for that, I'm going to go to this tool here, the lasso tool, and I'm going to map around. I'm going to make a selection around her helmet. I don't know if you can see that kind of arrow looking thing, but as I click it, it goes yellow. I'm going to map like a selection right around her head. Now I've done that. Oops, I've done that. Oh goodness me. Yeah. Oh, it's okay. I've done it, but it's gone wrong. You see, even when you're trying to be bad, you can't be bad. Right, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna go around the head again. Okay, and just in case you wondered why am I still using my phone to record these things, well, a brother Amma, he did send me some software that was free that you could use to select and to record the screen and the audio, but I downloaded it and it nearly destroyed my computer. So I thought, you know what, the phone is not going to do that, so I'm not going to risk anything and I'm going to leave well alone and just use the phone for now, because it might be more convenient to have the software, but it's just not happening, man. Right, so I've selected the around the head now. Now you can probably see those things moving. Yeah, they call those marching ants because they look like marching ants. They're moving, but they're not actually going anywhere. Look at they're going around her head. That's because I've selected only the head. Now, if I grab a color from the palette, let's just select a red, a nice red, and I'm gonna get an airbrush here. Whoops. Yeah, I'm lying in bed, so what? And I drew a line. You see, it is only drawing where I've selected. It's not going on the outside. See, I can go on the outside, but it won't paint it because I've only selected her head. Ta-da! Yeah, cool. You like that? So what I'm going to do, obviously I don't want her helmet's not going to be red. It's going to be blue because I'm going to rub it out. And as I do so, look what it's done. It's rubbed out all of the white because everything on that layer has been selected, right? Everything has been selected, so I can undo that. There you go. And go back to the original, yeah? So what I want to do, okay, I'm going to draw that again, but this time I'm going to select the right color. So her helmet is obviously blue. Blue, 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 blue. Do, do, do. If you know that song, now you're showing your age. Do, 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 do. It's so blue. Let's go to a lighter blue for now. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill that entire thing with blue. Yeah. Then I'm going to go back to the airbrush. I'm going to get, I'm not going to show it to you. I'm just going to do what I need to do. I'm going to grab a airbrush, select a slightly darker blue, and then I'm going to start coloring in the helmet. Now, if you look at her helmet here, pa-ching, you can see that it's kind of darkish here, then it goes lighter. Of course, because the light is hitting on top of her head here, and of course, her helmet is highly reflective. It's not made from sort of matte or some kind of dull material. It's highly reflective material, so of course, it's going to look very high-tech and very glossy and glam and whatnot, everything like that as well. So it looks really cool, really cool. You know what I mean, dude? All right, so if I just kind of start drawing in the aspects of her helmet. Okay, now I'm just gonna quickly just knock in that color for now. Okay, I'm not going to go into any great detail because it's going to take a lot longer than my phone has memory to serve to actually show you the whole thing. But I'll just do the basics, the basic aspects to show all you budding artists out there, this is how you do it, or this is one of the ways you do it. Of course, different artists have different techniques, different styles, but the more you do it, the more you realize and you find out what your particular skill and talent and your niche is, right? So you can see I'm just doing the basics of the light here. The sun is coming down or whatever's above her head, a building or whatever. But for our purposes, let's just say that the sky, obviously, she's outdoors, and the sky is above her head, which is not that unusual if you think about it. Okay, now of course, depending on what environment she's in, you may see reflections of that in her helmet, but we don't know what the exact environment is, and it may change. We might put her indoors for whatever reason. So at this stage, I'm not going to do any specific items or objects yet. I'm just going to do some generic shapes, like what she's got on here, just like a generic reflection that is reflected in her helmet here. Obviously the light again, and then you can see this sort of, but you can see it's definitely some kind of shiny kind of helmet business going on here. Okay, now I'm slowly knocking in a few more details. Okay, it's hard to look at the screen, draw what I'm drawing, and make sure that you guys can see through the camera as well. Goodness me, multitasking, and I'm rubbish at multitasking, so I'm really putting out the stops for you guys out there. I hope you appreciate it. Allahu Akbar. Right, okay. So you can see I'm just putting in a bit more detail. Admittedly, yes, I am rushing it. Yeah, so we can do better. Okay, I am rushing it. But you can see where we're going with this, and that's the most important thing. It's not just to take you through every step. This is not the point of my little forays into the art world. It's to just show you and maybe get you to appreciate a little bit the difficulty that artists like myself, when we're trying to do these things, the pains that it takes to go through different aspects, software, like we talked about, recording the screen on that thing, you know, going through the software, making sure it works. If it doesn't work, it could mash up your computer. If you mash up your computer, then what you're going to work on? You know what I mean? All the sheets and all the make and do's that I do for VMTV, where's that going to go if everything crashes on my machine? So I can't take the chance of putting on some foreign software on there and making sure it's okay, you know? So you haven't got a lot of time. So you can see there's a lot to consider, not just drawing things, but all the other work that goes around it. Getting to the drawing is probably the easiest part of it. You know, actually sitting down and physically drawing it, of course you need to have a bit of skill then as well, but actually drawing it is probably the easier part, because everything else that comes before it can be a real challenge. Right, okay, so you can see now I'm putting in that aspect of her helmet, the yellow rim, if you like. I don't know what you'd call that. I designed it and I don't know what it's called. That's the thing, sometimes you design these things, it just looks cool. You just want it to look cool, and you don't actually give it any names. You just that looks cool. I've seen something like this before, you know, somebody's got something like that in a comic, so let's rip it off and change it and use it on our uniform. You know, that's how it goes. There's nothing new under the sun, so it's hardly surprising that people are recycling ideas, of course. So I don't have a name for it. It's just a rim. of her helmet. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Not sure why it still looks rubbish. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this tool, which is a smudge tool, just to smudge it. Something when you grab this, as I mentioned before, something you use a smudge tool, it can cure a very great amount of problems, to smoothen things out, blend things in a little bit. Yeah, I like to do that sometimes because it just makes it a lot easier. But sometimes you're doing something and it looks absolutely atrocious. You're thinking, my goodness, you call yourself a painter, mate? And then you kind of grab the smear tool and start smearing it, and you think, oh, that looks really nice. It looks really sweet, actually. It looks good. Yeah, I am bad, you know. Really, you get me? You start boasting when 5 minutes before that you were panicking. Trust me, it happens to all of us. Oh gosh! So I remember when I did one before and it went wrong. I can't remember if I even put that video up. Did I even put it up? And it went wrong. So I think it was this one, the first part of this one. It just kind of went wrong, and it does happen. So you know, especially when you're trying to do it live, you're trying to show your skills. You know what I mean? And it backfires. Of course, I could dump the video. I didn't have to show it to you guys, but I want to show you because I want you to see that the mistakes are very valuable. What have I just done? What have I just done? Goodness, the whole thing's gone blue. Undo pencil. I'm not sure what I did because I'm talking to you guys and doing it at the same time. It's not the ideal. Oh, what am I doing? Look. When I click on it, it's all going dark. Why? Okay, you see, this is another learning curve you have to go through. Learning how to use the software. And always make sure you save every 2 seconds, mate. Because things go wrong all the time. Okay, alrighty. Alright. I don't know what I've done. I don't know why it did that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to quickly then knock in the rest of her helmet, which is on that goes down by her chin and her the jowls of her cheeks. Why is it doing it again? Look, did you see that? It went dark. What a guan. What is, you know what it is? I've got the brush so big. Look how big the brush is. 624. So of course, if it's that big, the minute you put it on the page, it just colors everything. Everything just goes all blue because that's the color I've got selected here. Duh. So that's the thing I don't like about this GIMP. It makes the brushes so big. Nobody on planet Earth would ever use a brush that big. It's huge. And when you try and make it smaller, see, I'm actually making it small as we speak. You can see it going down to the left there. It's so small. It's useful, but look, it's still huge. Look at the brush. It's ridiculous. So that's the kind of manageable size. But and then it's 12. It's still too big. It's ridiculous. And then but the point is, in terms of the size level, like, it's totally gone. So what's the point in that? You can't see where you are. If you what exact increments, you have to type it in, which is not very good, I don't think. Right. Anyway, I'm going to try quickly type in. I'm going to quickly paint in the rest of her helmet here. Of course, it doesn't really matter if I go over her face because I'm going to color that in later on. That's the good thing about Photoshop and things like GIMP. When you select an area, you can always go over an area that you've painted over. So it doesn't matter if you've gone over that area. Because it's digital. It's not as if it's colors. It's real colors that you're mixing. If you were mixing real colors, see, I've lost the screen there again. Sorry, guys. If you were mixing real colors on top of each other, you'd have to worry about, oh my god, I'm gonna try and cover this blue thing with green here, and you know, what color is it gonna make, and you have to worry about that kind of thing. But with the digital stuff, you don't have to worry about it that much unless you want to worry about it, unless you want to set it to do that, because you can set these brushes to do pretty much anything you want. I was doing one of the paintings for the Allah's Amazing Messengers. I set a brush to have an angel with an angel's wing. And whenever you hit the brush on the page, it paints an angel's wing. So you can set these brushes to paint anything or to react in any particular way. So it's as I said, it's in terms of not worrying about colors mixing and stuff like that. It's really cool. So there's huge advantages to using digital. Huge, man, huge. I'm telling you, the size of mountains or whatever. But yeah, really huge differences. Now I need to zoom into her head on the reference piece here because I can't see what her ear thing looks like, what the colors are. Where are we? Sorry guys. There. Okay, it's just like It's just blue with a yellow rim. Okay, so I need to get a yellow color here from my palette. I won't show you, I'm just gonna do it. And let's put in that yellow rim there. Yeah. And because it's three-dimensional, I'm going to give it a bit of depth and a bit of shade. Yeah. You see that? You see that, mateys? Okay. Somebody's inboxing me or something. What's going on Facebook? Right. Okay. Okay. Again, I am emphasizing I am rushing this like a crazy man. I would never go this fast normally. But sometimes just to see somebody do something, it's very beneficial, he says. It's quite beneficial just to see them do it, because you can't, sometimes when I used to see art, and I still do, you see the artwork, you can't believe somebody put their hand on that thing to actually make it, because you can't imagine where they could have started with it. So to see the basics, you can really get an idea of, that's how they do it, that's how it works, you know. So it's good to have that insight as well. So even though I'm not doing it with this the care that I normally would do, I still hope that you'll get an insight into what I'm doing. And for those of you who say you find it therapeutic, I hope you do find it. There's some benefit in terms of it being of comfort to you, even though I'm talking at 100 miles an hour. That's how I am. Even when I do the radio show, like I'm talking 25 million miles an hour. I'm not sure if the kids can keep up with me, but you know what? Kids are fast anyway, so I don't expect them not to keep up. Okay, you can see I'm just doing in the skin color now. So obviously this is Le Kix, and she is French European, so of course I have to give her the European skin tone, and very nice skin tone it is as well. Okay, so again, I'm rushing it like a crazy man, but I hope you'll appreciate that it doesn't have to be 1,000,000% at the moment. Okay, so obviously her mouth is blue. That's not good, isn't it? Why is her mouth blue? That should be teeth. So let's get some white and knock in some teeth, not knock out some teeth, just in case you're thinking that. Knock in some teeth. That's what you could knock a teeth in if you wanted. Well, somebody's gonna knock a teeth in, because when this story gets undone, oh my gosh! Have you guys been reading the samples I put on the sample for the story? The mother of the five, the mothers of the five. Did you read that? The fan club, or what they like? Oh my gosh! Well, you know, people do crazy things. Remember, there is a fan club or a religion for SpongeBob, or so why you don't think people are gonna create a religion or a massive fan club for Millennium 5? Trust me, people will go crazy and do the craziest thing, at least in my universe anyway. I'm quickly knocking in that kind of yellow thing on top of her head there. They're probably some kind of sensors or something, I don't know, it just sounds good. Sensors, my foot. It just sounds cool to say that. Okay, obviously the shadows coming here, so the sun is coming here, so the shadows on this side. So the light is on this side and the dark is on the other side. Just get a bit of orange in there to give it a bit of body. There you go. Can you see that? Yeah, please forgive me. I keep realizing that I'm not pointing the camera. I'm not pointing the phone on the object. Is pointing over there or something like that. You can't even see what's going on. I've been talking about it, thinking Khalil, the camera, Khalil, the camera, Khalil, the camera. What is going on? Right, anyway. Okay, I'm just quickly knocking in again a bit of the light there, to sort of again show that it's all the light is coming on top there. Okay. I don't know what I'm singing. For the sheet artist, I tell you, I hardly sing in the house. I hardly sing. Oh gosh. I don't sing in the shower. Now what I'm going to do, if you remember at the very beginning, we had the marching ants going around